Hello again, Struck. I'm back with some Torchlight Frontiers for you. Uh, I will be playing for a while with mostly my mage, because my other characters I don't want to play a train Realm Master, and I don't feel like playing a ranged or a hybrid forged right now. Maybe later, we'll see. So I will be doing a few maps on the final difficulty until I'm full in my inventory and I can't carry anymore. So let's see. So just voting now. Okay, here we are, voted up. Just need to open up my notifications, just a moment. Okay, almost ready. And there we go. So first of all, hopefully I've got enough room for items, at least for one or two. Ah shit, full inventory. Yeah, kind of the reason I was waiting for the enchanting so I can get rid of all the unnecessary items. If my if my storage is full, then I'm kind of screwed. Then I would be forced to play characters I don't want to play because I don't have any room to store any new drops, and new drops are not to be ignored. Yeah, now my warehouse is full, so I'm not sure what I can do about it. Let me see. Pet tags can be placed here. Pet tags can be placed here. Come on, I want some wardrobe with an empty slot with whatever type of item. Well, that's very bad news. Okay, let's go to another character. Let's try and find some place to put some of the gear I don't need. First of all, I'm gonna go on my outs, and hopefully there's gonna be at least one or two sockets, not sockets but slots empty. I was dreading logging in because I knew it was terrible in regards to the storage. It's barely enough for one character, let alone for three different characters. And I'm not fan on spending money for alpha versions. Okay, here I'm missing a helmet. Let's see if I can equip one. Hmm. We got an option to sell the Ember Core, but I'm not sure how difficult it would be to get a new one later, so I don't want to sell it. Oh man. Oh, now it rotated my character. The last walked at the top. Please tell me there's some room here. Oh, one, one thing can be removed here. Okay, that's at least something. Let's see if I can even sell something. Maybe I can sell this one. Ah shit, I should not have done this. No, I have to destroy it. Okay, destroy. Destroy. So I've got 2 slots in this guy's pet that I can fill up with some gear. Let's see, what can I pick up from here? Some blue shit that I won't be using. This one would fit right there. It's something that I probably won't be using right now on my mage. And what about this one? Bolts on shock and gearwork. Let's try put something else. Let's put this one here. So I've got two empty slots that I can kind of have some breathing room with.
Take a look around. Good luck on your travels.
So let's see, which 2 items do I want to place there? This would be one of them. And what about this one? Alright, I'm gonna place this one as well. Let's go sell my items from the pet inventory and start a map.
How much are you looking to spend? Good luck on your travels.
I'm gonna be doing the cheap maps because I really don't need gearwork. Gearwork is the last thing I need right now. I'm even gonna switch the difficulty to something that removes some gearwork for me, so that I get less items. So minus 40 gearwork, let's try this one. I really need to be getting at least good drops as possible. I only need enough drops for selling, because I really don't have room to keep items. And if I get a legendary and I don't want to sell it, knowing that I would be able to grind it up. So hopefully I don't get any legendaries today at all. Alright, let's go. I've got two slots empty in my inventory, so those 2 slots are all I can afford in regards to keeping items. I'm still gonna put white and green items or green and blue items to sell for
Is low.
just to be able to sustain the mapping. Yeah, when I know that salvaging or whatever they decide to call this dismantling of gear to use for enchanting, since I know it's coming, I would feel terrible if I were to sell any legendaries anymore. I did sell a few before it was confirmed that that's gonna be part of the system.
Not enough mana.
Let's keep putting the goat. I should probably even be doing gold work maps instead of gear work maps. That's probably the best thing to do right now for me. I could play on my other heroes as well. If it's casual, probably they would be kind of fine on melee builds. But yeah, melee builds really do need to be looked into. They're just too weak compared to a character that has the ability to use range skills. And it's bad forcing people to not use melee because it sucks. But hey, that's nice though. It's nice that this difficulty came, because it allowed us to see how broken the balance is between melee and ranged builds. Also, those guys, I think they're one of the monsters that are good to get buffed, but currently they're about just dodging this missile. So they can kind of one-shot you or two-shot you, but it's easy to dodge this missile. But the thing is, maybe if they're faster to do their attack, to do their spell, but do less damage per hit, it would be a bit better. Because they're kind of very slow right now, the way they cast. But for that slowness, they're at least getting shit tons of damage. Like on the final difficulty, they can really want to shot people. Never been fan of one shots in games, unless it's on a end of map boss, like a proper map boss. I might check how a block chance build works. But block chance build would be so boring because the damage you're sacrificing to use a block chance weapon together with the shield would be kind of too high of a sacrifice. But I wanna try it on my forge just to see how a block chance build would be on the final difficulty. I still think the damage even on a damage oriented build is bad, so I can only imagine how bad it would be on block chance builds. And if I get a toxic map on a melee class, it's just kind of a nightmare. This is the worst map mod to be made in a game where the range class can just avoid it and the melee class is kind of forced to go inside those toxic pools. The weirdest thing is, compared to the highest difficulty, I'm not seeing any difference in how fast the enemies are dying with the exact same build. The only difference I'm seeing is to the damage they're doing. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I haven't encountered some enemies that would take too long to kill yet. But when I was doing high-vid maps like a week ago or so, after this update got released, with the exact same build without any changes to it, it seemed a bit kind of the same speed, the same clearing speed on the highest difficulty. The only thing was I was getting hit for half my HP or for like 70-80% of my HP every now and then from those elites.
You don't have enough mana. You can't carry anymore.
Whereas I think the best way to make different modes, it's not just to boost the damage of the enemies, but rather to get the enemies more modifiers. Not the map, but the enemies themselves. Seeing more elites, increasing the number of elites, which in turn would increase the number of the amount of XP you're gaining. That would make it much more valuable than the current way. The current way the difficulty works is an easy way out to say here we have higher difficulties just by increasing the health and damage of the enemies. It's a very boring way of giving us difficulty. Instead of making more elites with different skills and abilities that they can use, and giving those elites more mods. Like let's say on a mod you can see elite with 2-3 different abilities on them. Then just with the max difficulty maybe make it 5, 6 or whatever maximum different mods on an enemy. And I'm talking about things like toxic, invigorated, enhanced and stuff like that. This one has bonded, become stronger. So this one has 1, 2, 3 things I think. Bonded becomes stronger where pack member dies and pack. So add 2 or 3 mods to this guy and that would kind of make it more interesting. Like stuff like when you hit the enemy it bounces shock projectiles. Many games have similar things. It was something that Diablo has, it was something that other ARPGs of the genre have as well. And it could fit right into this type of game as well. We already have the mechanic, although currently the mechanic works when we hit an enemy, he does those shocks and it hits the other enemies. We can do something similar with a different color of shock or just a slightly different mechanic, but the shocks could actually hit you and do damage to you. So like an electrified enemy or something like this. And the same can go for every element. So that's an easy way to just change the projectile to a fireball, to poison, to whatever. And that's an easy way to just make how many elements do we have? Ice, poison, fire, uh, lightning. Am I missing something?
Glad you stopped by.
Uh, oh, we have bleeding as well, physical. So we can easily have five new mods that can be put into enemies if something like this is added.
Good luck on your travel.
And then you can do something like chance to stun on hit, not when they hit you, but when you're hitting them. Or chance for damage reflect. Damage reflected has always been interesting. So the enemy can actually buff itself for let's say 5 seconds every 10 seconds. So 50% of the time the enemy would be reflecting. So you would kind of have to take your time and know when to... Oh shit, what's happening? Okay, just a moment. I clicked outside of my game window. So something like damage reflected would force players to wait for a moment and to watch out the enemy's phases. So if you watch what type of enemies there are in Path of Exile, in Diablo 2, 3, in Grim Dawn and so on, there's a lot of things that can be picked up as ideas for enemy mods. Let's go buy a new map. I'm gonna buy gold map. I'm just gonna do some maps randomly. For now, my priority would be just doing some runs for gold. But yeah, I'm just gonna be doing those runs and thinking of ways that I think could make those higher difficulties more challenging and not the boring easy way out of giving them more HP and more damage. And once I have a list, I can just send it as some extra feedback, along with some suggestions of how to make melee actually viable in the game. A full melee build, not a hybrid. It's alpha, so it's good to keep experimenting with stuff and play around with the balancing. Okay, this doesn't work. Alright, that doesn't want to vote. Very strange. Maybe I need to quickly switch characters and come back to this one. Okay, I think I need to restart the game because look at it, it's glitched. I'm restarting the game, just give me a moment. Usually what I've always liked is games where the harder the difficulty, the smarter the AI is. So the AI tries to dodge your projectiles, to just flank you and all that stuff on the harder difficulties, and it's becoming a bit dumber and more simplistic in the way it's behaving on the easier difficulties. This is something that's very time consuming to code. It's not as simple as just increasing the damage and HP of the enemies, but it makes more sense, it's more logical, and it's much more fun when you try to hit the enemy with a holy bolt or absolver or whatever, and it just dodges out of the way. So it would be very nice if we see something like that, if not on the regular enemies, at least on the elites and the bosses, along with giving them some more abilities and some more modifiers on the harder difficulties and less on the easier difficulties. And more chances of encountering elites, uniques, and yellow monsters on the higher difficulties and lesser chance on the lower. This would make it more XP overall due to the more elites in the higher difficulties and less XP in the lower difficulties. So it would give people even more reason to sacrifice some gold for resurrections and stuff like that when they're doing higher difficulties and keep getting their asses kicked. Otherwise, currently I don't see motivation besides the extra wood chance. Which is good motivation. I mean, wood chance is nice. Wood chance is pretty nice when you need wood.
You need more mana.
But I still think they should have added weapon enchanting and dismantling before adding those difficulties. Or at the same time, like with the same patch. But it's nice because now at least we can give them some feedback on how those difficulties work. And I'm really glad they actually changed Radiant Blast. It's a bit more laggy now, so probably they need to optimize it a bit. Because each time there's like a huge explosion of 3 or more enemies with Radiant Blast dying at the same time. All those projectiles kind of get my PC very laggy for a few seconds, and there's an FPS drop. Did they add a new bass to the soundtrack of this game? I keep hearing that it sounds like a ship. I'm not sure if it's outside. My headphones are making it hard to hear, but it sounds like some whooshing, like something like that. Every now and then, like a drill, but not really a drill. Like more like a horn of a ship.
Not enough mana.
I'm wondering if it's from the game music. Because it's late in the evening, so there shouldn't be any sounds like that outside. How's my pet inventory? Okay, we got plenty of room for money. But this build is so much better now. I was playing this build before update 8 came, just because I wanted to find a decent Absolver build together with the Radiant Blast. Now after they buffed it, it became even better. Same goes for my Blaster build, the Blast and the Furious, the one that uses Holy Fury and Radiant Blast. That also got buffed and became a much more pleasant build to try out.
Mana is low.
Now I think Dark Spears needs a treatment the same way Radiant Blast got one. Maybe remove the damage and just make it proc more often. Proc more often so that it can charge up the white bar as fast as Entropy. If they can make Dark Spears kind of auto-aim enemies in a certain big area, like make it as big area as Consecration, but not do any damage at all. Just keep slowing the enemies there and keep proccing. If it's a big area, it would be much easier to keep proccing Dark Spears so that you can fill up your white bar. Because currently I'm only using Entropy to charge up my white bar because it's the only skill that can charge it up as fast. And I would much rather have the slowing from Dark Spears, even if it doesn't do any damage at all. This is what I like about the skill system in Wosen. You have like what was it, 20 points I think. When a skill is maxed out, I think you have 20 points, and you can choose how to spend those 20 points. There are skill modifiers such as increased AoE radius, or something that increases like the beam skill gets an extra beam, and things like that, and they cost 5, 10, etc. depending on the grade. So you have some that cost 10 points, others that cost 5 points. You decide at each time how you want to spend those points, whether you want to spend them on 4 5-point modifiers, on 2 5-point and 1 10, or on 2 10-point modifiers, something like that. I might be getting the numbers wrong, but it's pretty close in regards to how it works, what I just said. If we have something here, skill modifiers, this would be a great thing. To be able to change how a skill behaves, and to be able to pick a limited amount of modifiers for a skill. we can have a more powerful modifier and only be able to pick one, or we can have a lesser great modifiers but be able to pick two of them. That would be also nice.
Insufficient mana.
And I wouldn't mind having such a thing for Dark Spears. Being a wide range AoE slow in the range of Consecration, that kind of radius, but no damage done at all. Just slow. But if it has this huge range, it would mean it can charge as fast as Entropy charges the mana regen buff. But since the Dusk Mage is powerful enough, maybe it shouldn't be the priority in regards to balancing, and more of the balancing should go in the Bro and in the lineage trees for the Forged and the Realm Master. They do need some sort of survivability in cases where there's a toxic map and you're playing a full melee build. Or in any ways, I think regardless of what the map is, ranged builds have such huge advantage.
What is your LVL?
Oh, my level is the maximum, dude, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I've got level 100, which is split into level 50 in the two frontiers. So there's two frontiers, each frontier has a maximum level 50, and this adds up to level 100 in total. I have two level 100s and one level 98
You don't have enough mana.
of the three classes that exist in the game. So welcome Tomasz Budynia in my YouTube channel. Hope I pronounced the name kind of correctly.
Are overloaded.
It sounds Czech or Slovakian or some sort of from around there. Maybe I got it wrong, but it sounds kind of this part of northeastern Europe or Middle Eastern Europe, if such a term exists. Currently I'm just doing some casual maps, because if I go to a higher difficulty I'll be getting more wood, and I'm really kind of out of storage room. I'm saving a lot of items in my other characters and in my warehouse, because I know later on we will be able to dismantle those items. So currently I'm kind of yeah, hoarding stuff for enchanting materials once the enchanting
Hello at
system arrives.
struck_TLF.
Hello, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but I'm gonna try. Hapetep, Hapitip. If you wanna give me a hint how to pronounce it, that's fine. If you don't, I'm just gonna
Yeah, check you are
call you
right.
Hap. Welcome to my Twitch channel, Hap.
Your pack is full.
Oh, nice. Keep in mind, Tomasz, in YouTube the delay is a bit longer than the other platforms, and I think this is just solely a YouTube thing. I think in YouTube the delay is like 60 seconds or so from when I say something. So you might be hearing me a bit later than the others, but it's kind of still okay. And Hap, how are you, dude? Also Tomasz, how are you as well? Hope you're feeling well, guys. If you want me to show you the other classes, just let me know. I can always show you whatever you want to know about the game. Feel free to ask. I'm here to answer questions. I can change my characters. I can even show you some different setups and builds.
You need more mana.
I spent a lot of hours, probably 500 hours in this game just from streaming, And if you count the hours spent while not streaming, it might as well go around 600, maybe more, who knows. So there's most of the stuff I've actually experienced in the game. I started playing around Alpha Phase 3, and we are still in Alpha Phase 3, and we're just in Update 8. I think I started around Update 4. Maybe shortly before the contract update, which I think was Update 4. So either during Update 4 or a week before Update 4 is when I started, so that was, I think, this spring. So that's how long I've been playing for. I'm not one of the veterans that played from the first alpha stage, but most of the things you might wanna ask and need answered, feel free to. Currently I'm just playing some casual setup just for some gold farming. And I'm thinking of ways how the current difficulty system could be made better and less boring. Because with this update we got a difficulty increase, this thing. Oh wait, I have to kill this enemy.
You need mana.
So we got this change. We can increase from this difficulty all the way to this. And the only difference I've noticed is more HP and damage on the enemies. And it's good, it's still better than nothing, because the game was very easy as it is.
You can't carry anymore.
But with this difficulty, at least some of the people who want something more challenging could get it. Even if it's a lazy way to make a better difficulty, it's still better than nothing. Boosting the HP and the damage of the enemies. And the defense or whatever. I'm gonna quickly sell some items. And then I can start mapping the Goblin Frontier so you guys can see it as well.
Take a look around.
Okay, is everything sold?
Glad you
Oh,
stopped by.
9 seconds, okay. Let's wait for 9 seconds. In the meantime, I need to...
Your pet has returned.
Need to get some regular potions for the Goblin Frontier.
Thank you for shopping.
So you have currently 2 types of potions, so one for each frontier. You're not forced to use a certain potion in a certain frontier, but since the Hybrid Frontier has more poison, this one is better, whereas the Goblin has fire, and this one seems to be better there. So now I'm going to do a Goblin map. Hopefully we get a decent map. I haven't done Goblin Frontiers since this update started, so I'm not sure whether they added back one of my favorite maps in the Frontier, Pillaged Village, and whether they increased the number of enemies that spawn in the Cemetery map, which is a new map that came with the some of the previous updates. Let's see how much damage my pets would do. I wanna just get the pets to kill the enemy. Oh shit, my attacks keep hitting the enemies if I hover over them. And this skilled Spirit Well is very good for the final difficulty. If you switch to the ridiculous difficulty on some very hard and tough enemies, you can actually cast this Spirit Well 3 times. Even 4 times and stack them at the same time. 4 times 6 netherlings. Of course you have to wait for this long cooldown of 16 seconds with my current setup. I do think we do need items that reduce the cooldown of Spirit Well. We do have stuff that increases the duration of dark skills in Spirit Well, and that is nice. 12-second duration, 16-second cooldown. I think we need some items that give us extra cooldown for the skill though.
You don't
And
have enough
the
mana.
most important thing I need for Spirit Well, and I think many people would agree with me, is Spirit Well and Spirit Well Netherlings should follow the player the same way those spiders do. Currently they stay where the portal is, where the Spirit Well is. And I don't think this is the way the skill should work. Because it's very limiting. You might end up casting them here and look, I only use them for like 2 seconds and then the other parts of the skill are kind of being wasted. It doesn't feel right to cast a summon and the summon to just stay in one place. In a game that's fast paced, you can see it's pretty fast paced. If I wanna speed run it, the only thing that's preventing me from speed running is the slow spawning speed of the enemies. So in a game with such a fast pace, even if it's not the fastest, it would be nice for the summons to follow the master. And we do have this mechanic on the spiders, so it shouldn't be difficult to just modify the blueprint of the skill in Unreal Engine to have the same property, the same AI property of the spiderlings.
You need more mana.
And the spiders do have some nice AI. I've seen them swarming the enemies, trying to flank them. Also, this is a new map. This map did not exist before. This is a modification on the Eerie Grove. So this is pretty nice. And I do like the name of the map, Growth of Broken Things. It's pretty symbolic for the game. The game is growing, it's fixing broken things with each update, adding new things. I'm wondering who the boss of this map would be. I've never done it before, this map, so... After this map I can play a bit on my Realm Master or on my Forged, just so you can see some gameplay with those if you want to. I'm letting you decide which one I would play next. If you want Forged, let me know. If you want Realm Master, let me know. Eventually today I would go through all characters. And since I'm not farming items, I'm farming trash items, I'm farming green and white and blue to sell for money, I prefer to play on casual. The clearing speed between casual and the harder difficulty is not that different from what I've noticed. I can show you in a moment. I can try and play one map on the highest difficulty just so you can see. I do have this specific build, it's the latest YouTube Torchlight YouTube build I've uploaded. I think I uploaded it last week. And it is the only build after update 8 I've done. But since there weren't major changes besides Radiant Blast, I don't think it's worth it reworking and remaking my videos that use Radiant Blast. I can just probably add some notes to my other builds that use the skill, that it got better and the build is slightly stronger. Now let's see what reward I'll get. This map seems to be getting the same boss as Eerie Grove. Maybe Eerie Grove got removed and replaced with this map. I'm gonna have to play for longer to see if that's the case. And again, no luck with the pets. It's already been what, more than month and a half, maybe 2 months since update 7 started, and I still need. I don't need this skill, but I need those two skills. I really want those two skills, and I just can't get them. The RNG is terrible. Okay, let's go sell the items and change to the, let's say, to the Rail Master first. Actually, is my mic muted? Let's see. No, it's not. Sometimes I accidentally mute it.
Fresh shipment of goods. Glad you
Okay,
stopped by.
switching character. Okay, this character.
Got a fresh shipment of goods.
I've got a green map here. Let's check the difficulty on this guy. This guy's playing on normal. I want less item drops, because I really don't have room to store them, as you can see. Only three slots. Oh, and I don't have a potion. Okay, I'm gonna buy some potions.
I've got something. See you next time.
Bought some potions and now let's go. Did I change the difficulty? Yeah. I'm not sure if they got rid of the gold limit, but before we had a limit of how much gold we can carry. That was around, what was it, 20,000 I think? It was either 10 or 20,000. I think it was 20,000. And I always tried to not let it go over 4,000. As soon as I get 4,000, I was just spending them on potions, maps, and so on.
Not enough endurance.
Yeah, this is how I like to play this character. I really don't like having a train following me, and it's not about having the train following me, more about I don't like my character having to keep swamming the ground with a hammer or whatever to keep laying tracks. So that's why I play a no train build most of the time. Of course, I've made builds for the train for different setups, but I don't enjoy playing them as much as this guy. This is not the most damage you can get. The most damage you can get would be if you're using flamethrower car and some items that give you damage when near your train. Then you could get some huge damage on this guy. But I just prefer playing this guy as a close and a medium range melee class. Ghost Train is my favorite skill of this guy, so I try to use it as much as I can. And the Dynamite, even though it got nerfed, is still a pretty strong skill, allowing you to set up the enemies from huge damage with Ghost Train. I wouldn't mind if Ghost Train could be modified to do half the damage, but cost half the endurance charges. And time for some meteors. What's attacking me? Something's attacking me. Alright, I might have been just poisoned, but I think I wasn't. Oh, nice. Go straight to the sky. Haven't seen the Jesus Express in a while. It's what I call this this stuck when the skill goes towards the sky.
You need more endurance.
Alright, just a quick cleanup. Do I need this? It's got a very nice defense and chance to poison. 9% chance to poison is actually pretty good percentage. I'm gonna compare it to my other chance to poison helmet when I get back to the fort.
You can't carry anymore.
Oh, okay. Might be a bit head spinning when I keep opening the inventory so often. I'm really wondering when the new contract system would be making an appearance for another test run. And if everyone would be getting the premium or whether it will be already paid. As if there are some storage or character slots as reward from it, it would be pretty great.
You need more endurance.
How big is a player's bag? 520 slots. So we only have 20 slots in our inventory, not the biggest, but at least each item takes one slot. So unlike some other games where an item can take 2, 3, 4, 6 slots. Here everything's kind of one per rectangle.
You're feeling tired.
I was trying some days ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I was trying play this guy with a pound setup. So I was stacking items that boost my pound skill, and I had removed Ghost Train. Kind of forgot what I was using instead of Ghost Train. Oh yeah, I was using the train car, the shield car. This thing, I was using shield car. And here I didn't have sword smash, I think, or maybe I had, but can't remember exactly. So I was doing kind of a pounder with a shield car build. It was a fun thing to try out. It wasn't bad at all. But it's very gear specific. If you want to do a pound setup, you need at least 3 items with extra dangerous pound. And you really shouldn't be using Ghost Train if you want to be using Pound, because it would just eat up your endurance. So just Dynamite and Pound. And if you want to be using heavily Ghost Train, of course you shouldn't be using Pound often. And you should just be focusing on Dynamite, Hammer Spin and Ghost Train. Together with the Relic skill for fewer. It would also work as if I replace my Pound with a shield car or another car. for extra damage. So hybrid builds are actually not bad on the Rail Master. And the good thing is now the train skills don't require endurance. If I remember correctly, before they kind of needed endurance, before update 7 I think. But maybe I'm mistaken and I don't remember it correctly. And since after update 7 they don't, or maybe that's when I realized they don't, because that's when I started playing the train more often. It's quite nice because you can still have your endurance using skills and have the train skills being spammed as well. Flamethrower together with Ghost Train, in my opinion, is a great combo if you can make it work. That's gonna be just huge damage on bosses. Set it up with Busting Charge, start the Flamethrower, do something like whatever fuel you need before the endurance regains for Ghost Train. In my case it would be Sword Smash, but you might be using Venomous Maw or whatever. And then do Ghost Train while the vulnerability is still on the enemy.
Your endurance is running low.
So in a way today I can even test how the gear would work against me when I play on the lowest difficulty. I haven't tested it, and today if I just keep playing on the lowest difficulty I would see how long it would take on that difficulty to get a legendary item. Because when I was playing on the best difficulty with some gearwork bonus items, I was getting sometimes more than one a map after update 8 got released.
Your endurance is decreasing.
And I really was wondering what to do with it. Alright, I got 2 shot or whatever. Come on, Pet, you can do it. Come on. There we go. Pet finished him off. Yeah, let's see now. Did we get the boss? I think the boss was there. This was a weird glitch. It showed me casting 2 ghost trains, but one of them was just visual. It didn't quite or anything, because it was just a whack. Alright. Last final wood. Now let's go to the outpost quickly. Sell the items and then I'm gonna go to the fort just to check this poison helmet. If it gives me more chance to poison than the current one I've got in my wardrobe and warehouse. I do like having helmets for each element. Chance to burn, chance to poison, chance to bleed.
I'm sure I got something.
The major elements for the relic weapon, since we don't have a freezing relic weapon yet. Alright, loading. Oh, did I sell the items? Might have forgotten. Come on, items, let's see. Let's see. Voting. I'm just gonna rotate my mouse on the wheel. Keep rotating on the cog wheel. Sometimes my fort votes slowly, even though I try to not put too many assets in the fort, so it votes faster. I've even deleted some little ones like mushrooms and stuff that could be making it slower to load up. Like those mushrooms and stuff. Probably I've put too many of those in my fort. Now, let's look for some helmets. Chance to poison helmets for a Railmaster. They're probably in my wardrobe, but wanted to check if there's anything here. So this is not chance to poison, this is actually a mage item. If it was mana regen and energy cost
You
for
have to be the
absorber,
guy
it
who
would be
played the
amazing.
most to this game.
Probably no. Actually, I'm not the person who played the most. The people who played the most this game would be the mods in the Torchlight Frontiers. The mods in the Torchlight Frontiers. Not Torchlight Frontiers, but the Torchlight Discord channel. And there's some veterans there who played since Alpha 1. So you can see some of the more active members in this Discord who have played since Alpha 1 have surely played way more than me. I think I've got 2 items with bleed. This is chance to bleed 7.2 and this is chance to bleed with gearwork. I can probably get rid of the high with one. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of the high with bleeding and I'm gonna put the poison one here. And this one will go for sale. I can do something like this. Okay, now let's do a goblin map. I kind of forgot to buy one when I was in the outpost. I want to see if they returned Pillage Village. No matter how bored I get of this game, I always come back to it because I get bored of the other games fast as well. And this game, it could get boring every now and then, but after like a few days break, I still feel like it's fun to play it. But I will be playing less Torchlight Frontiers for a week or two after Borderlands launches. So the 13th of September, Borderlands 3 would launch, and maybe the first couple of weeks after the launch I would be spending heavily into leveling 2 or 3 of the classes. I'm not sure if I'll be able to level 4 of the classes in 2 weeks, but we'll see. My goal would be to level 1, then the 2nd, then the 3rd and then the 4th as fast as I can in Borderlands 3. Now let's do some gold rush maps. For Goblin, I'm gonna buy 1 Goblin and 1 Hivit. And then I'm gonna go on the other class, on the Forged for a bit. I'm gonna keep switching classes and frontiers. I don't wanna make things too stale. I'm only farming gold now. I did play some Borderlands 2 off stream today, but doing the missions and campaigns I've done so many times over and over again kind of yeah, feels very bad for me. So I did a few missions and decided to just play some Torchlight Frontiers after a short break. But I do have mixed feelings about this difficulty increase update. I did want an increased difficulty, but it kind of brought to the light many of the weaknesses of certain builds compared to other builds, and the difficulty is just very basic. From what I've noticed, the only difference is the HP and the damage of the enemies. If there's something else that changes, like something that's not just HP, damage and defensive ability and stuff, then that would be nice to know. Because I really didn't notice anything different besides more HP and more damage on the enemies. This is nice, Netherrim defense, but currently Netherrim are very rare and only in certain places. We do see them more often than before, and we do see more of them. So maybe, hopefully there will be a Netherrim only map where you only fight Netherrim, where such items would be very viable. Later. How much damage does this bomb do? I need to check it on this difficulty. Ah shit, I missed it. Okay, let's try again. I'm standing into 3 bombs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did 5 of them hit me? Just wanna see how much I can take in regards to damage in this map. Okay, I'm just gonna face tank them then. Okay, some frames dropping when I do damage to too many things at the same time. Oh, green, green. I need the money. I'm gonna try and max out my goat or get it as close to the maximum as I can. And then sometime I can just spend more time farming higher difficulty maps when they add the enchanting. Or if not the enchanting, I really need the dismantling, the salvaging system. I've got 40, no actually I've got 80 items ready to salvage in my 2 mules, in my 2 obis. And on top of that I've got other legendaries in the warehouse and in the wardrobes that I really don't need and I would be salvaging. So let's say over 100 items that I'm saving for dismantling. So I'm really looking forward to that enchanting system. And with this increased difficulties, the enchanting would really be nice. It would really give you an extra edge to be able to push that that extra minute or minute and a half less per run on a certain map, maybe even more. If you're looking for some efficiency or min-maxing your runs. And playing a tanky setup would be nice for this high difficulty. When you're playing with other people in multiplayer, you can decide I will go on a forged and I would go with the shield, with the melee damage reduction skill, and I would go with the blockchain sword as well. And then someone else can do the damage, you can do the tanking, but there is no taunt in the game. However, even if there is no taunt, I do have a good setup on my forged, perfect for a tank setup. You just need the what's it called, binding on blockchains, and you need to be able to spam vortex bomb. I already have the setup for spamming vortex bomb. They just need to fix rapid strike to don't work like a ranged skill. Currently, rapid strike starts shooting if you target an enemy that's far away from you. And it should work like servo-driven uppercut. When you target an enemy far away from you, the forge should start moving towards this enemy until it's within melee range. Once this gets fixed, this can be the perfect tank setup with the proper items. Maybe if they add a freezing relic, it would be even better. It would be nice to have a freezing shield relic that freezes enemies on block. has a chance to freeze enemies on block. Then you would have a very good tank setup for the Forged for team play. And a damage reflecting skill would be nice with some duration. Let's say 5-6 second duration, 10-12 second cooldown. Certain percentage of the damage taken reflected back to the enemies, like a Thorns kind of setup would be perfect for the Forged, for the Brower skill tree. That way you can focus on shield and sword with block chance and just let the blocking do the damage for you. Blocking and damage reflection, this would be such a nice setup for the Forged. You can just add Cyclone mode to keep proccing poisons and other things like that, or whatever you wanna have. It would also be nice to have shields that add chance to poison, chance to bleed and all of this. Even if it's on block, it would still be nice to have those. So that you could still have an element on the shield if you're using a sword with block chance, such as this one. I can quickly demonstrate a block chance setup on this guy. But let's wait for this map to end and I will start one on the final difficulty. So we can see how it works there. I have a shield with a chance to bind on block. I have a block chance sword. Is it Hive It? Should be Hive It. But I would be sacrificing my element that way. And I would be losing the endurance. It would be nice to have endurance regen on shields as well. Even if it's just one, it's still gonna be fun to have a shield with endurance regen. This is what legendaries should be. Legendaries should give a mod on an item that usually doesn't roll on this type of item. So shields usually don't roll endurance. So adding an endurance shield legendary would be very nice. It would allow for a specific setup that is fun. The same goes for poison, bleeding, fire, etc. on shields that normally don't get elemental bonuses. Only elemental defense.
Do you have extra alpha code for me?
Oh, hello Nocturnal 242, and sorry dude, I don't have alpha codes. My account and the account I'm playing on got approved without receiving codes to activate. So for alpha codes I would suggest each Friday watch the official streams. Every now and then there might be some giveaways. So on the official Twitch channel, let me quickly give you the link.
Official TLF Twitch.
Each Friday at 11 AM PDT, which is 7
THX
PM
man.
UK time. 7 PM or 8 PM German time. If that helps you calculate the time for your time zone. So Friday, I forgot to write it's Fridays. Fridays 11 AM Pacific. And the community manager or another developer or him together with another developer, regardless of what position, are usually the ones hosting those streams. And it's not guaranteed that there would be a alpha key giveaway there, but every now and then someone from the company, sometimes even the CEO himself, would come into the chat, post some alpha keys for the viewers, and the first one to copy paste it and activate it would get it. But when there's big streams, like right before updates, so when update 9 is coming close to its release date, you might wanna be paying attention for those special preview streams. In the preview streams they usually do something like a Gleam giveaway, where people would sign up, do something like following the game on Twitch, Twitter, etc. And then after a couple of days or so, the winners would be announced. Normally this probably happens on Twitter or whatever. They would say how when the time comes. So that would give everyone equal chances, regardless whether they're copy-paste ninjas or not. But every Friday, the regular Fun Day Friday streams, if you're fast and if there are keys thrown into the chat, you still have a chance to kind of get some access. Also, you can go on the Twitter channel, not Twitch, but Twitter.
Official TLF Twitter.
You can go there, follow them on Twitter, and watch out for contests. Every now and then they do contests, and they do award access to the game via those contests. Some examples are using a fort builder to make a fort kind of simulation of our fort planning in the game, just using your browser. That's just an example of such contests I've seen being on Twitter. Every now and then the developers partner up with some of the streamers of the game, the American streamers. Well, maybe with others, but so far I've only heard them partnering with American ones. And they do give them alpha keys to do a sponsored stream. I'm following some, I think Syntactic and maybe Badger Attack, if I remember, are the two people who have done such sponsored streams. I should be following and maybe auto-hosting both of them if I'm correct, but maybe I don't remember. No, I'm sure about Syntactic. I'm not sure if I've set up auto-hosting for Badger. I might have forgotten. I'm also auto-hosting Torchlight Fox, who is a moderator. So whenever I'm not streaming, I'm auto-hosting different people from who play Borderlands, maybe games like Wolfen even every now and then, and of course Torchlight Frontiers. All the games I play, I try to find people who play them as well, and to just throw them some auto hosts for when I'm offline. Also, if anyone wants to talk about Borderlands, I'm free to discuss it, or Grim Dawn, or Chaos Bane. Those are the games that I'm doing content for and playing, so even if it's not Torchlight, if you want to have a discussion, let me know. And feel free to ask me any questions about Torchlight. I've said it earlier, but if someone joined the stream later, yeah, I've played the game since this spring, I think March or April, I can't remember the exact date, but it's been a while. Okay, let's see. My pet. Oh, my pet's full. Oh, and it's also still returning from the town. It's gonna be just me and the boss. Although I could just stall for time 1 minute before my pet returns. But I'd rather just focus on the boss now. So let's do dynamite, burning. Go strain. It's gonna take a while. Not sure if this guy was resistant to fire. Come on, pet, 20 seconds. I can't wait until my pet's returned. Alright, let's try and break some other stuff before the pet arrives. What else can I break here? I don't think there's anything else that can be broken. Okay, in the meantime I can open my portal.
Your pet has arrived. You are overburdened.
Oh shit, it didn't sell the items. Well, okay, let's destroy the white items. And maybe if the pet has a white item I can destroy it. This should be enough.
Is full.
Okay, let's destroy 2 more. And that should be good. Now let's go and sell the stuff. And I probably can try and show you on the final difficulty how a blockchain's build would work. The damage would suck. If I go to a blockchain's build, the damage would suck, especially on this setup, which is well on the damage side itself. But I want to see how it would work in regards to survivability.
See you next time. You look like a
Also, how am I with the potions? Let's fill them up.
Thank you for shopping.
Is this a high-bit map that I've got here? Yes, high-bit map. So difficulty, let's go boost it up. I'm gonna get this one and I'm gonna use this one with a chance to blind. So 48,000 HP. So I'm losing elements, I'm losing all my elemental damage. Very sad, but not much I can do if I want to be trying a shield and wing blade setup. This is the only sword with block chance. So with this thing I can get where's the block chance? 37. But if I put on my pet another block chance thingy, like this one, instead of a 15% crit strike chance, I can put another 10% block chance if I wanna further go into the defensive route. And this shield only has 16.9 block chance. I could actually equip a shield that gives me a lot of block chance if I want to. Or this one that gives me shit tons of high bit defense and poison defense. So I can play around with both setups just to see which one works better. More HP and chance to blind, or the high bit poison and chance to block. Let's see, what else could I experiment with? Maybe since I'm losing the crit chance, I only have 25%. Can get rid of crit damage. This is terrain related stuff, so I don't need it. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I want to be changing. Let's go with this setup. And let's try this map now. So, Wingblade Firewall setup. I could get like another 15-16% more block chance from a different shield. But I wanna try this specific combination of items. So the enemies have a better attack speed here now. You can see my damage would be very bad with this. set it now. And the only chance of me burning the enemies would be with sword smash. At least they're getting blinded very often.
You need more endurance.
Yeah, this is a fun setup. Decent on the survivability side, but slow on the damage side. If you combine this with a train car, shield car, like, let me do that, just a moment. So if I were to do this, this would be very tanky. Oh fuck, I can't use my basic attack this way. Ah, damn. So I would kind of have to sacrifice my relic if I want to make such a setup. There is a way to cheese it, but I really didn't want to use this thing. But I'm gonna try and cheese it. Let's see if it's fixed though. Yeah, this is how you cheese it. The train is still following me, but I don't have the train building skill on my skill bar. I've reported this. I reported this thing. But I currently am not a big fan of having this skill in the game, the build train. It just doesn't feel right sacrificing a whole skill slot just to have this build train, this whole mechanic. It just feels very restrictive. And this whole animation of having to smack the ground with a hammer to lay those tracks. I'd much rather have the train just follow you around if you have the car, just the car skill equipped automatically without you having to build the tracks. Like a summon, like regular games with summons have the summon just follow the master.
Your pack is full.
So now we're very tanky. If I were just to let them hit me, let's try it. Come on, enemies, hit me. First of all, most of the hits would get blocked, then there's a chance to blind them. Of course, when they do hit me, I would be taking a lot of damage. But yeah, that's pretty solid. And we have the shield car, we have the active skill of the shield car. This guy's invigorated regenerates health. This is one of the tankiest possible combinations for an enemy. Let's kill the ranged mob. see what dropped. Duration for major shield buff from shield car. Yeah, this is since I'm using shield car at the moment, this is not a bad one, but I think I had a better one, this one. Using some heavy defense though, getting some extra crit chance. This is also nice damage when near your train. And since I already have duration for major shield from the shield car buff, which actually got nerfed. This one was giving me 80% before, I think. It got nerfed. So with the shoulder, this one can give me some extra percentages. Although I think the duration is fine. The way it is. How many seconds is it? 10.4 seconds. And the cooldown is 27. If I were to equip a shoulder, regardless of which one they give the same bonus, this goes all the way to 11.8 seconds.
Your endurance is decreasing.
So just 1.4 seconds, probably not worth it. Let's test the other shield without the blinding. I wanna see how tanky I would be. $11,000 poison defense. Oh shit.
You've reached your end.
Okay, I wanna check my defenses with the shrine and without. 11,000 poison. Now, how many thousand poison? 29,000 poison with the shrine. So we no longer would have the blinding. Oh, and I need to summon my train again. Yeah, this is how you can cheese it and have the train without using the build train skill. But yeah, as soon as you die, you would have to recast it, re-switch your skills. Even with all this damage reduction I'm stacking, those enemies, the big brutes that throw 3 big projectiles, would still be able to two-shot me with 50,000 HP and all that damage reduction from the shield car.
Your endurance is running low.
Okay, let's get some potions. Okay, let's go this way first, maybe. I'm gonna leave some enemies alive because I'm gonna be coming back for them. Someone did a lot of damage, not sure who. I think it's the flyers.
Your pet has fled.
Yeah, it's the poison flyers. They do a lot of damage every now and then.
You feel tired.
Oh, and those goblin guys. Yeah, it's the goblin, the little goblin guys. I think they have a chance to crit. Is it? No chance to knock back. But they are infested. Look at that damage, wow. So the only thing special about this monster is it has a bit more HP and a lot of damage. Nothing else is special about him. Doesn't have some special skills, he doesn't have some weird electrical fire, poison, etc. effects around him, like projectiles or whatever, or poison trails behind him like this Warva.
Your pack is too heavy.
Just 2-shot attacks and a bit more HP than on the normal difficulties. Okay, I need to grab my train again. Did I kill everyone there? Yeah. Oh, okay, again. Okay, after this I'm gonna go on Forged. It's a fun experiment now, just testing that that tanky setup with the wing blade and the shield. I'm not sure which shield performed better, but maybe the one with the blinding is the better choice when you're fighting bigger groups of enemies. Because the chance to blind them would add up. Oh, the boss is here, okay. Yeah, this one was kind of glitched, staying in one place. Oh, I ran out of potions again. Okay, 20 potions already downed. Or did I have 15? Kinda can't remember how many I have. Might be better to just let myself die and resurrect with full HP. It's probably gonna cost me less than...
You are exhausted. Your struggles have
There we
ended.
go. But yeah, I wouldn't say silly hard difficulty, I would say silly annoying.
You are wounded.
Boring hard maybe. It's just prolonging the game, not making it any different than what it is.
You are exhausted.
The AI is the same, it's nothing changing in regards to how intelligent the AI is. Usually the best way to go is build the hardest difficulty, then based on the hardest difficulty, on the most advanced settings of the AI, start dumbing it down to make the easier difficulties, instead of doing the opposite. And when I was playing Rat the past few days, this roguelite game, Rat, I was noticing stuff on the bosses and boss fights. The enemies do dodge my projectiles, which is amazing. Like seeing enemies in some indie games. Oh, someone just subscribed. Sebastian. I'm not sure how this is pronounced. Sujinek. Thank you for the YouTube channel subscription if you're watching. It is appreciated a lot, especially when it's on YouTube. I'm really trying to grow that channel. So, as I was saying, this little roguelite game, indie game, Rat, it's a single player only game, but I really enjoyed seeing the elites and bosses dodging my projectiles. It was kind of refreshing seeing something like that in an isometric game. Okay, I'm gonna go on the forge now. And maybe they can do something similar here. It is time consuming though. I'm sure that one of the most time consuming things is AI work. I was just watching an interview from Gamescom from the Borderlands director, not director, but some of the developers, bosses, not sure. Was it world designer or something like that? I can't remember the title, but the guy said Iron Bear, the mech of one of the characters, took 11 months to make. And he joked that he can make a human in 9 months, but it took them 11 months to make Iron Bear. So yeah, that's how long it takes to make good AIs. Okay, let's see how many pots do I have. Four Hivit, 5 Hivit, 5 Goblin. Let's get a few more Goblin, because I want to do Goblin map now. Maybe later, if I've got more money, I can do some more Hivit. And how am I with my inventory room? I've got 2 spare sockets, 2 spare places. So what build? I want to be playing my build, my fun build. I don't want to be playing on the harder difficulty. So casual it will be. The less legendaries and blue items I get, the better. Oh fuck, I started the wrong frontier. Well, let's do Hivit, then Goblin afterwards. This build allows me to spam my favorite forge skill. Or maybe let's say my second favorite forge skill. My favorite forge skill is Cyclone mode, this one. But my second favorite is this one. It's like Condemned on the Diablo 3 Crusader. I was gonna say Paladin, but yeah, the Diablo 3 Crusader has that Condemned skill that vacuums enemies. This one's slightly different because it's not on a cooldown. It's kind of on a cooldown and requires heat to be built up. And the skill that builds heat the fastest is those punches you're seeing, called Rapid Strike. But the problem is I will now target an enemy far away from me. This skeleton. Look, I'm targeting the skeleton, but the guy, instead of walking next to the skeleton, he keeps attacking the air, as if it's a ranged skill. And this is the main reason why I think this skill needs to be fixed. And this is breaking my build. I really want to be playing this build the way it should be working. Unfortunately, I kind of can't. And another thing that got broken is the channeling skills. I can't switch to ramming robot from Cyclone mode until I stop attacking. Before I could. Before I was... there was a period of time while I was leveling up this character where I could be doing things like this skill, and immediately, without stopping, I could do this skill. Or without stopping, I could do Cyclone mode and then immediately this skill. So when I press my spacebar on number 3, which is my ramming robot, while Cyclone moding, it would immediately switch. Or if I start servo driven or whatever other skill, it would just stop my channeling and to do the other skill and then continue the channeling after the other skill's animation was done. it was a bit more fluid, and I think update 7 broke this fluidity. And the number of times I've died because of this broken glitch is just too high to even remember it. And since they didn't want Cyclone mode to be a damage dealing skill, this one, I don't see a reason why they wouldn't add something like a knockback or vacuuming or whatever, or stunning, just some sort of effect to it. If they want it to be like this, to not be like a main damage dealer skill, because you can see it on the hard difficulty later, if you want me to show you how weak the skill is. Even if I stack damage for Cyclone mode, which I can, it still won't be on par with Rapid Strike, Rapid Fire, Servo Driven or Swap Shot. Currently I think the best, the most damage dealing build on the Forged is the Swap Shot setup, but it's one of my most hated and boring skills. It's just very slow shooting projectile that pierces and has like a huge crit rate. But it's just one projectile, just a straight line, and the shooting speed is so boring, it just makes me fall asleep when I play a build with Swag Shot. It shoots like shoot, 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 something like this. I'm gonna show you if I have the skill. I don't have it, but I can just demonstrate with this one. Kind of this shooting speed, roughly. Come on, this is glitching.
Time to vent heat.
They did nerf this class. This class really didn't need a nerf, and what they did is they went and nerfed those two skills. This skill used to give you 50% bro skill damage, and this skill used to give you 50% barrage skills damage. I know why they nerfed it, because some people felt forced to invest points into this skill so that they won't lose the bonus. And now probably they're giving people
Vent heat to use more skills.
kind of telling them, don't feel forced, don't feel pressured to invest into those skills. Spend your skill points elsewhere if you're not gonna use them. Because the synergy now is twice as weak. It's still okay, it's still not bad, but I think the least nerfing that was needed was for this class. This class needed some boosting instead of nerfing, especially on the melee side. If it's gonna be staying close range, taking all the damage, it needs to be dealing some good damage or have some nice survivability or whatever. And we do have melee damage reduction, and we do have crit chance to melee skills, but it doesn't seem to be enough when you're playing on the highest difficulty. Like, we do have this thing, movement speed bonus. This gives you 20% crit chance to all those skills here. This gives you melee damage reduction, and this of course gives you some damage for the active skill of the relic. Currently not playing with the relic active skill. I don't want fear. So here, where should I spend that extra point? This is glitched, I have 41 relic points. I'm not gonna spend it, it's gonna be cheating if I do.
You can't carry anymore.
So there was some glitch that gave me an extra skill point for my relic weapon that should not be there.
Time to vent.
I was even surprised that I had 5, 5, 10, 10, 10, which is 40, and then I still could level up. Oh, green, green. Get that extra gold.
That spell can be fast.
So if I try to spam siphon mode, you can see second and something, and it's spammed. If I decide to. And I can get this cooldown all the way to 0.1 seconds. The thing is, you can't get your heat faster than maybe 1 second, but even with 1.3 seconds I can kind of almost spam it. So it's not bad with this current setup. I was gonna make a build video, but until this skill is fixed to work the way it should, I'm not gonna make a build video, and I'm not gonna respec my skills until then. If it doesn't, well, too bad. Yeah, this is probably the most fun on theory build that there could be for my playstyle of a Forge. Because for team play, this guy can just be tanking. I can set it up with Bokchen's sword, Bokchen's shield, bind on Bok or other goodies. And then I can just go inside the bro and keep pulling the enemies.
I was following
maybe...
the Torchlight subreddit this week.
Oh, interesting. I rarely go on Reddit, but every now and then when I do remember to, I do go there. Anything interesting going on there? Worth mentioning?
You are overloaded. Vent excess heat.
And were you following the basic Torchlight or the Torchlight Frontiers, or is it one for all of them? As far as I remember, Torchlight Frontiers might have had a separate one, or maybe that may not be the official one.
You can't use that skill.
People
yeah.
doesn't like Frontiers.
Many people don't like it, and most of the people who don't like it have tested it for just a few hours. And it's an alpha. It's an alpha. I've seen many people who said I've played it back in etc. month and it felt bad and I didn't like this, I didn't like that, and most of the things that they listed have long ago been replaced, such as the old skill system and things like that.
Only one subreddit.
I've read a lot of opinions a few months ago about what people didn't like, and many of them didn't like the unfinished frontier questing and so on. Then some others didn't like the skill system, but the skill system got reworked. Of course now the relic system is also reworked, so people who didn't like frontiers before should just wait for beta, try it when it's beta, and then say whether they like it or not. Like, even judging an alpha feels wrong. It's like judging your baby before it's born. It's the equivalent of that, like touching your wife's stomach and saying, "I don't like this baby." It's an alpha, wait for it to be at least beta. So yeah, that's a lot of judgment going on Reddit from people who have no idea about many things, and that's not just for this game, that's for many games. And this is not your cash grab early access Kickstarter kind of game. This game is for free, and it's limiting the amount of players that can play it instead of some
People
early
doesn't like
access
free
on
to play
Steam
in
per
general.
se.
I can understand that.
I can understand that as well, but look, this game is not your typical early access where you can buy your way into the early access like some of the Kickstarter games or some of the Steam early access games. So this game is doing the opposite. It's kind of limiting the amount of people just by way of invitation, which is random. And it's still really early to judge it. I mean, come on, there's a lot of things that are missing. First of all, we only have 3 characters, we only have 2 frontiers, the enchanting system is missing, there's no endgame content other than the map works, and all of that is still work in progress, work that will be added eventually. So the developers are taking their time, but as I said, judging an alpha, it just feels ridiculous to judge it. Of course you can say this could improve, that you can provide some criticism, you can um, let the developers hear your feedback, but saying you don't like the game in general when it's still not ready kind of feels stupid. I also say that I don't like certain things, but I send them with this form. I say I don't like this feature, it could be made better that way, or it could work like this way and stuff like that. But this is like providing the developers my feedback so that they can improve things I don't like. So later on, maybe tomorrow or in a few days, I would give them some feedback about this new difficulty system, which I'm gonna go to now. I'm gonna change to the maximum difficulty so you could see me get my ass kicked. I'm really hoping I would get a toxic map so I could show you how broken playing a melee build on a toxic map is. Even I'm gonna even use a chance to block shield if I get the toxic map so you can kinda see that I've at least tried to be a bit more survivability based. I'm even gonna go to my fort. I'm gonna go to my fort and to grab my wing blade. I should have a spare one so that I can stack up as much block chance. As I said, this build I'm playing for party play for a tank would be amazing. You can have block chance from the pet, block chance from the wing blade, block chance from a shield. And if you have someone else giving you the crit chance aura, it's gonna be nice. If the other
I
person doesn't
simply
have...
don't want a free-to-play Torchlight game. It makes games slower and routinary.
Well, free to play has nothing to do with the pace. What has to do with the pace is how the game is made. So it's all about balancing, it's all about setting up HP, damage, dodging, etc. All of that. So I don't think the game being free to play is why
Besides of
it
this,
feels
the
slower.
game looks fine.
So let's say we don't change anything in the game, we just make it buy to play. How would that make the game less slow and routinary? Like, I don't see a connection between the game being buy to play or free to play and it being slow. It being slow is just by how they've set up certain systems. Just deciding which one to take. Maybe this one has a bit more block chance. Let's check them out. So I'm gonna equip this. The block chance is 20. With this it's 18. Okay, so 20 it is. And let's equip this shield. It has good block chance. So that's 40% block chance. And if I go for this, I think the main reason why this game feels slow is that the enemies have spawning animation. Some skeletons do a little dance, jiggly wiggly, before they are actually vulnerable to damage and before they can attack you. Then some of the goblins that are coming from the river maps are coming one by one, and you have to kind of wait for the animation of like 5, 6, sometimes even more goblins to
If
start
you can pay
appearing.
to rush, it's slower by definition.
What do you mean by pay to rush? I'm not sure I understand what you mean by pay to rush, but currently the only thing you can pay for, as you can see, is storage and character slots and relic storage. So you have shared stash, relic storage and character slot. So currently there is no pay to, like what they say, pay for convenience in games like Black Desert, where you can pay for things like whatever it is that makes it progress faster, that gets rid of some limitations. Like per se, some MMOs set a limit of how many dungeons you can enter a day, and if you pay for some item like a premium subscription or whatever, then it allows you to do more dungeon runs a day. That's just a perfect example of what you're probably calling pay to rush. They kind of call it paid for convenience, but this game doesn't have such a thing. Okay, let's do one map now with this setup, with the more tanky setup. Let's do hybrid map. So for now, if they do keep things like this in the game, only selling storage tabs, relic storage and character slots, that's gonna be fine. If they add some cosmetics like pet skins that are only cash shop exclusive, but since you know currently it doesn't matter what the pet skin is, what matters is the skills. So if you can buy skins that don't affect the skills at all, just maybe different animations and different models, that's perfectly fine cosmetic stuff in the cash shop. People would buy it. People love their vanity items in online games. And so the same can be done for item skins. You can probably have item skins that you can buy for your collection, which we know is coming. We know from the travel board that there will be transmog. So they can sell special transmogs that can be taken only from the cash shop. And people would buy them. People would actually buy stuff like this, and it would not break the game. It would not be considered as pay to rush as you're calling it. I personally hate games with pay for convenience because this is a stupid way of masking kind of pay to win. Yeah, it may not be a true pay to win, but it's still allowing you to progress faster than others by spending less time doing something. Currently they're careful. They're careful with all the things they're adding, and they keep asking us for feedback before and after adding a new system. Shit, so much damage. Even with all the blocking, I can't soak up the damage. This is why I'm saying melee classes currently have
I'm the
it the
first
worst.
one interested on you being right with this. We will see in the future. You can deny it's normal to not trust by default in free-to-play models.
Exactly, I've played so many free-to-play games, especially MMOs. This game should be less of an MMO and more of an action co-op game. Because as you've seen, action co-op games don't have pay to win, most of them. If you see, Diablo 3 doesn't have pay to win, but it has play to win, which is another bad thing. allowing players to have advantage if they grind more hours a day than others, because there's no
I
limits
leave.
in the
Have
paragons.
fun.
Thanks for being here again, Jude. You're one of my regulars. Have fun as well. Path of Exile also doesn't have pay for convenience and stuff like that, although in a way buying all those special taps and doing that auto trading could be considered pay for convenience in Path of Exile, because it's kind of playing capitalism 3 in a way with this game instead of playing the game itself nowadays. But different players like different types of play modes or different ways of playing the game and earning money in the game. I personally prefer killing stuff, getting wood instead of spending all day trading with others. I don't mind trading items to my friends and giving my friends some free wood that I don't need. But yeah, I think Diablo style trading, which probably they might add into this game, just being able to trade to people who were there when the item dropped, would be nice, because they want to avoid, the developer said they want to avoid the black or gray market, I don't know what the correct term is, but let's say online black market of in-game items. It exists for Path of Exile, bots and all of that. So if they add Diablo style trading to the game, it will kind of prevent things like this from happening. People selling gold, people selling items and all of that. This is not bad, but really damage to undead and skeletons. But the steam dissipation for certain builds is nice. Of course, now I need to use a build that doesn't dissipate steam, so I can build heat for vortex bomb faster. But as I said, melee builds currently have it the worst in this situation, in this map. Maybe I should get rid of my poison dart and replace it with what weapon am I using? I need a way to burn the enemies. Well, I won't be burning the enemies. I might as well equip a poison weapon so I can just poison them with poison dart and proc. I should have one in my warehouse. I might get it after this map. Wow, look at that damage they did to me. I think it was this golem guy. That golem can even one-shot me if it hits me with a crit. Thankfully I can stun walk him. But yeah, as we were talking about free to play, pay to win, pay for convenience, which I really don't like the way they're masking this term. I've played so many MMOs, which is mostly the games who have those predatory systems, or the wood box shooters and stuff that were popular recently and kind of stopped being after many people started realizing how bad some of those wood boxes are. So I've been stung by many such games, being good at first and being terrible afterwards. But I'm pretty fine when games have cosmetics as cash shop items. And this game is the perfect, it has the perfect setup to sell cosmetic items. transmog system which is coming, pet skins not affecting the pet skills in any way. So it's just there, it's already there, the setup to be able to sell skins and pets.
Time to vent.
Pet skins, I mean. When they add the transmog system, it would be pretty easy to just add skins for forge sets, for mage sets, for realmaster sets. You buy the skin or look or whatever they want to call it. You put it in your lookbook. The same way in Grimdown you can unlock some skins by doing some achievements, or buying a Steam package, the DLC with skins, or just finding the item itself and unlocking the skin. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm stacking almost as much block chance as I can, and since I'm melee, I have to be right next to the enemies. And they were just to shot me. Look at this. 2 hits and I'm at kind of 0 HP. So the balancing on melee classes really needs to change. I don't think one shot is the right way to do difficulty. I'd much rather have mechanics than just HP and damage. So yeah, now people would be picking long range builds or hybrids instead of purely melee builds, if they wanna be good. So you do need some sort of extra damage reduction from somewhere, or maybe damage reflection, or both. We do have 20% damage reduction as a passive, but it doesn't seem to be enough. Even with a shield, even with a sword with blocking, and a pet skill with blocking, I still kind of keep getting wrecked here. And it just doesn't feel fun to play this class. Not this class, but this build of this class.
Vent heat to use more skills.
When it's just one enemy, it's kind of easier because I keep stunning him. Okay, let's finish this map. Now I don't have any potions left because I wasted I got, so maybe let's try looting here. No luck. Oh man. I'm gonna lose all the money I farmed today from resurrecting on this one map. But when they add enchanting, this would change. You would be able to probably add some damage reduction, some more block chance, all that stuff, which would make this difficulty much easier. For now, we have to just bear with it until enchanting is added, until we see what we can win with enchanting and how it affects our power and defense abilities. So yeah, for now it might feel very silly, as they say, silly difficulty, but maybe it would be better. But it still feels boring, just making them stronger on HP and damage, rather than giving them more utility and clever AI.
You're close to dying.
Nice potion.
Vent excess heat.
I wanna max out this and see how much damage I can do. Okay, kind of 35% of the guy's HP, maybe 40. Let's try maxing it out again. Maxed hit, maxed hit. Is there on any? Oh, I'm gonna try with the damage shrine. Wanna try with the damage shrine. Look at that, I barely scratched him. That was probably like 15% of his HP. My ramming robot, which does 196% weapon damage, with the Shrine of Might, let's say 400, did less than this one, more than this one that supposedly does 3000 weapon damage together with the Shrine. It should be with the Shrine of Might should be 6000. So this one with 6000 did less than the one with 4000. This is why I'm saying this is broken. It's giving you the wrong numbers. It's saying it does all the way to 3000 when maxed out, hit wise, but it's not doing anywhere near that. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna max my hit. I'm barely scratching him. Now I'm gonna experiment with ramming robot, so you can see how much damage ramming robot would do. Much more than that. Let's see poison dart. Okay, I'm gonna have to just experiment for a moment. I'm gonna have to kill those.
Your pet has run away.
Okay, my pet is dead, my bog chance is less now. Do I have any other range skills unlocked? No. Just rapid fire. Okay, I'm gonna use rapid fire for now. Look at that. That does more damage than the vortex. I think 2 hits of this do more damage than 1 maxed out vortex bomb. And it just feels terribly wrong to be that way. So either the 2 tip is wrong, or the skill is broken and it's not giving as much as it should. Once they add damage numbers, I would be able to prove this by seeing how much damage this skill does. For now I can't, cause I can just look at the HP bar and kinda try to guess the exact damage I'm doing with the skill.
Your struggles are over.
And while casting rapid fire, I can't use vortex bomb. With rapid strike, at least I can actually use vortex bomb, even though I can't follow up with another skill. Look at those one shots. And now I have to use this boring skill, a servo driven uppercut.
You have died.
Okay. I hadn't noticed. Alright, look at this HP going down slowly, slowly.
Vent heat to use more skill.
This is gonna take forever to kill.
You feel healthy again.
Of course, I could do something like this, but it's still slow. No, right, it's gonna take a while.
Your pet has fled.
Now my pet's fled. Ah,
Your
fuck.
journeys are
Forgot to move on time. Come on.
You have perished.
Look at this shit. This is gonna take forever to kill. Poor Forged, I feel sorry for this class. It's the least played and there's a reason why. It's not just one, it's quite a lot of them. Okay, let's just spam servo driven then. Might be a bit better that way. But it's so boring, man. Oh.
Your health is low.
Again. Alright, one more time. Oh, the pet's here. Now let's stack some damage. Come on, pet. I'm counting on you. Make him bleed. Ah, fuck. Okay.
You're refreshed.
I should have set the dead counters for this guy.
Time to vent.
Okay.
You feel refreshed.
So much for the block chance. How am I not even blocking a single hit from this guy? Let's see. Am I actually... No? I don't think I've ever blocked a single hit from this boss. Wait, is it 50 block chance I've got? 40 block chance. Wait, why is it just 40? This one gives me 24 and 10. This one gives me 20. That's broken. Something's terribly broken in regards to my block chance.
Your pet is running away.
34. Let's just quickly... Oh fuck, I resized my game window. Let me just quickly get away from the boss. So without the shield I have 20 block chance. The shield is broken. The shield itself should give me 34. And my pet is not here, so I should have 30 with the pet. And with the shield another 34, I should have 64 block chance. So is 40 the limit? I think 40 is the limit, maybe, that's why. So if 40 is the limit, kinda the shield would be more than enough. I wouldn't need the wing blade. Then tank builds are gonna be impossible if 40 block chance is the limit. And you see, I'm barely blocking this guy. Even with the maxed out block chance, I'm barely blocking his hits. I don't think I've even blocked once. Oh, I've blocked now, one time. Let's see again. He didn't hit me this time. This one wasn't a block. Well, 40 block chance is not enough. If the enemies can one-shot you.
You feel much healthier.
I'm blocking every now and then at least. I thought for a second I can't block him at all. Maybe he had special mode, but he doesn't.
Your pet has arrived. Prevent excess heat.
Come on. See, those enemies die much easier. The other one was, I don't know what was the other one. It was like some behemoth who just couldn't die.
You have reached your end.
And now there's minions of this behemoth. They can still one-shot me. They're just kind of less tanky. Okay, let's bring back the build the way it was. The melee setup.
Your pack is full.
Oh fuck, no room. Okay. Do I want this? Let's not take this. How am I able to give my pet items when he's not here? Not complaining, but it's actually nice to be able to give him items, but it's...
Death is upon you. Your pet is back. Your struggles are over. You have died. Your health is low. Your pet has fled. You've met your end. Time to vent. Your struggles have ended. Vent heat to use more skills. Your pet has arrived. You are wounded. Time to vent heat. You are near death. Your pet has run away. Your pack is too heavy. Your pack is too heavy. Time to vent heat. Your pet has arrived.
insufficient mana.
insufficient mana. You need more mana. You are overloaded. You need more mana. Your mana is low. You don't have enough mana. low. You are overloaded. You need mana. Insufficient mana. Not enough mana.